Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of me rambling about Hot Wheels cars. And I've got a little bit of a change of scenery this time because the cat is sleeping in the bedroom and I didn't feel like waking her and riling her up again. So I decided to do this in different parts of the apartment this time. This is the kitchen table, so welcome to the kitchen. And by the way, old IKEA foldable table, which I bought used with a set of 4 chairs for only 70 bucks, and my wife restored it to like a mint condition. All it took was a set of crafty hands, some vinegar, a mixture of vinegar and oil, mineral oil meant for wooden surfaces, and like all the scratches are gone and everything, and it's just looking so good, so much better than any modern table that I've seen. And a great price too. It didn't actually take a lot of work, but the skill required, well, that was something else. So yeah, mint condition table and 4 Hot Wheels cars. I'm actually not continuing the American box like I was in my previous videos because I've been in the shop again and I've been going through the bins of Hot Wheels cars, and these are the 4 new ones that I picked up. This MX-5 I actually mentioned in one of my previous videos, I believe. I didn't like it too much at first, but then I actually ended up picking it up for myself. And yeah, why don't I begin with this 1966 Buick Riviera. Now Buick is still around. It's basically GM, Opel, Vauxhall, Holden. Like, they make the Buick that I know today is for example the Opel Insignia. Now I think it's also the Buick Insignia, which is basically the same car, but maybe I'm just confusing the model name. So that's what Buick is today, and it's one of those cars that gets rebadged all over the world. I'm not sure if it was the case with this one. This one, I really picked it up because it's just a really beautiful looking old classic muscle car. Actually, I'm not even sure if I should call this a muscle car. It's definitely a coupe. It's very gorgeous. Now I can't imagine with the way cars are looking today that they could ever look as nice as this, but of course that's just my opinion. I understand that the cars back then, I don't have a lot of experience with them because I haven't seen them, a lot of them, with my own eyes. They used to be massive, like 5-meter long cars. Like, it's crazy. Whenever I see them on the road, which is super rare, they are large and loud and really just gorgeous. But it would be sort of difficult to drive them and especially park them on our little European roads, I imagine. Definitely never seen a Buick Riviera from 1966. I'm sure some of them are still around, and nothing in particular very special about this one. I just absolutely loved the design, and also I'm really happy to see that there's a lot of detail going on the bottom of the car. You can clearly see a lot of things like the exhaust and parts of the suspension and all that. So that's really nice. I'm also a really big fan of the color, and I absolutely love the interior color. I don't even mind that it matches. Like, personally, I really don't like when somebody has, let's say, a red car and they get the wheels painted red as well. Like, that's just, for me personally, that just looks horrible. I really don't like it, but again, just my opinion again. But I really like when the interior is the same or like a really similar color to the exterior of the car. I'm sure this color has a name too. I'm pretty sure it came out of the factory like this. And yeah, just a really nice, sleek, aerodynamic, fuel guzzling for sure, beautiful coupe from 1966. Honestly, at first glance, I wouldn't even say that it's a 60s car. Personally, I would guess it's like 70s, like early or mid 70s. But yeah, I guess they made this one in 1966, which is beautiful. It's just really gorgeous. I absolutely love these old American classic cars. Still not sure if I should call it a muscle car, but it does have a V8 engine, probably with a V6 option, I imagine, maybe a 2-speed gearbox or something like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and call it a muscle car, but I'm probably gonna be wrong. So the second one that I picked up, I actually found 2 of these. It's a DeLorean DMC. Doesn't really display the year, but I'm not sure if it's probably the 80s. Everybody probably knows this car from Back to the Future. That's actually one of the reasons why I picked up 2 of them. because I gave the second one to my uncle. Now, he's not a big fan of cars, he's not a car guy, but he loves movies, and in particular the Back to the Future movies. I know this doesn't have a lot to do with Back to the Future, but it is a DMC DeLorean, so I just decided what the hell. I found two of them, so pick one up for myself because I like these a lot, and I gave one to my uncle. Not a huge fan of the color combination going on here. It is definitely funky 80s looking neon colors, like with the bright neon windshields and the glasses all around the car. It's yeah, interesting to say the least, I guess. And the classic 80s combination with the white, blue and purple going on over here, so those are huge wheels. But it's an art car. I mean, I'm not criticizing it, definitely not. It's an art car. They always look funky, they always got a lot of colors going on, and vinyls and wraps and all kinds of stuff like that. And it's interesting that they chose a DMC, which from the factory comes without a color, just a clear coat, I think, and it's always a polished metal color, sort of color in quotes. And I haven't checked. I think DMC still runs a site where you can still order them new, but I might be mistaken. I remember a while ago, this was many years ago, I remember seeing on the internet that you can still order those. I wonder if that's still a thing. I wonder if you can still get a brand new DMC DeLorean today. I imagine not really, because it's a 40-something-year-old car at this point, but who knows? Maybe I'm gonna go on the internet and check it for myself, because it would be cool if they still made those new, you know, to order. Now, this is an interesting series that I found. I actually checked it on the internet, the 70s versus 90s Hot Wheels series. I found a bunch of these Civics. Actually, somebody just went ahead and picked a lot of them up and just stacked them like in a row, because they imagined that like somebody's gonna want to pick up a Civic, because like 10, 15 something years ago, a lot of people around my town were driving Civics. Of course, I'm only talking about my town, but Civics are popular all over the world. They're the classic rice car, of course. And now there's not a lot of them to be seen anywhere. I still have one. I still have a 6th generation VTI with the B16A engine. And yeah, it was really cool to see this old, I think this is the fourth generation Civic. This was actually one of my favorite cars to drive in Gran Turismo 5. There was this race that I used to grind out all the time on the Nordschleife. And I always picked this Civic with the Mugen, I'm not sure how to pronounce that livery. And I always raced on the Nordschleife. So that's what I did in Gran Turismo 5. That was a great game. You should play it again. And yeah, I'm really happy to see that there's some details going on in this car in particular. It's got the tiny little Honda logo in the front. It's got the headlights, nice white wheels, and an exhaust, which is pretty huge, but it's Civic, so it's no wonder. It's a shame that there's not a lot of stuff going on the back. And I'm also not super happy with the condition of this card in particular, because it's like scuffed all over and all that. But like, honestly, this was the best condition Civic that I could find, so I took one for myself. I have a bunch of other Hondas in my collection, and this is gonna be a part of them. And also this series, I looked it up on the there's some kind of wiki, a Hot Wheels wiki on the internet, and apparently only 2 of these cars are out. The other one is the Lamborghini Miura, I believe. I might be mistaken. I looked it up yesterday. I'm not really sure right now. And I can't wait to see more of these cars. There's going to be an Audi, there's going to be an old Mercedes. So I'm really excited to see those in the bins if I'll get the chance. So, and I hope these Civics are going to come in a different color, because they did the Honda City from the 80s, I think. And that one came in like 5 different colors, I think. I got a bunch of those as well. So yeah, and the last one on my, the last one for my picks today is this Mazda MX-5. 1991 model. That's 2 years after they started making the first NA Miata. And yeah, I'm not a huge fan of these vinyls that it's got going on the side. I'm not sure if it's supposed to represent anything or anything like that, but it's an MX-5. I decided, what the hell, I'm just gonna go and pick it up. Why not? It's got some nice details in the back, and it's got those American marker lights. I think they are the American marker lights on the side, on the front over there. So yeah, that's it. I'm not a big fan. Like I said, I'm not a big fan. I don't mean to sound negative here or anything like that, but like, I like a clean MX-5. I am not a huge fan of these, like, random looking, seemingly random vinyls that this one has going on. And this one is actually still, I just noticed that now, honestly. This one is actually still last year's model based on the font used on the bottom of the card over here. See, all these new 2025 models have a different font. If you go ahead and compare them, the new 2025 has a thicker font. Also, the background is different. It's like it's going through some kind of tunnel or something, and the older one has a bigger Hotwheels logo in the background over there. So yeah, these are the 4 picks. These are 4 cars that I picked in my latest visit to the shop, and 1 extra DMC DeLorean from my uncle. So that's it. I hope they're gonna get restocked soon. I can't wait to see some new models, and I would love to get some feedback on my videos because it's fun, but it would be much more fun if I could get some comments and perhaps some feedback on what I'm doing, because yeah, I know this is pretty boring probably, but it's something that I like to do, and I would love to talk to some of the people who watch. So anything at all, go ahead and comment if you feel up to it. And if you want me to keep going, it would be awesome if I would have more people subscribed. So consider that. Yeah, not gonna beg for it, but it would be nice. And thank you to everybody who's been watching.